Hello and welcome to episode number 38 of Girlstreamers. Girlstreamers is a podcast bringing you the girl streamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora and I will be your host during this interview, and tonight we will be interviewing the Calico Kitty. If there's time at the end, we will take questions from the audience in the channel. This is a live podcast, but we will also be available for download on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. What's up, Callie? How you doing?
Hello! Hi! I am doing really well. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yay! I'm excited that you are here. Thank you for being our first girl coming back from the holiday break. We took a month break because, Nymphadora needed it.
Well deserved, though. You worked really hard.
I had my nephew came into town for the holidays with his daddy, and he turned 1, and so I did the whole family thing, and he's super cute. I did originally have a video planned to show on the podcast. However, I had to delay it because we got so many submissions from you awesome girls. So we do have a really big video project coming. I hope to have it done by the next podcast. I want it to be good, so please forgive me for not having that. But how are your holidays, Callie?
My holidays were a little bittersweet. My parents weren't around for Christmas Day, and that hasn't happened for me in a very, 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 very long time. I'm very close with my parents, and it was a little weird, to be honest. But other than that, it was a lovely holiday.
That's a little bit of a bummer. Were they out of town, or?
Yeah, my mom wanted to go visit her cousins in North Carolina, so her and my dad road tripped down to North Carolina. I'm from New York, by the way. So yeah, they drove 7 hours.
Yeah, that's a long drive. That's a very long drive. Well, that's okay. You had the house all to yourself, Or unless do you live with your parents, or?
I live with my parents and one of my sisters.
Gotcha. I was so happy when I finally got out of my parents' house. So how'd you come up with your screen name, TheKalicoKitty?
3 guesses. No, I'm just kidding. Little known fact about me, because I made it this way. I used to be a kink vlogger on YouTube. You don't know what that means? That is, I'm not going to explain it, but you know what a kink is, then yeah, you know what I did. But
I mean, I can imagine what it is.
So okay, I'll give you the rundown. Kink is, anything that's out of the norm, sexual deviances, BDSM, that kind of stuff. And so I used to kind of do gear reviews for pet play, which is a subset of BDSM. And that was how I got started on YouTube. That's kind of like what broke me out. I started with the name Kitten Noir, and everyone used to just refer to me as Noir, and it just felt really impersonal, and I didn't like it. Also, like, Noir just meant black, and I was just like, I know what I am. I don't need you to say it. So I was like, okay, I need a name change. And me and my friends came up with this like really outlandish name that never came to fruition ever. It should never have seen the light of day, and it didn't. And then this is actually like a personal nickname. Everyone used to always call me Calico Kitty when I was little because, a calico is an actual breed of cat, and my name is Callie. So I just changed the C to a K, and the Calico Kitty was born, or it was the Calico Kitten. I was speaking in third person back then. And then when I came on Twitch, it was TKK Gaming, which the TKK stands for the Calico Kitty. and everyone kept calling me TKK, and it kind of reminded me of that whole impersonal thing. I wanted people to more use my name. So Calico is the best. It's the next best thing. So it's a toss up. So you can call me Calico. You can call me Callie. Yeah. But that's how I come up with it. I wear the kitty ears. I have the kitten ear headphones because I'm a weeb.
Oh my god, I'm not really a true weeb, but I want those because they're super adorable. Holy cow.
They're awesome. They're really cool.
They're the ones, wait, I know there are several different ones. Do you have the ones that move or the ones that light up?
The ones that light up. The original accent wear ones, the ones that like they came in like purple, red, blue.
Yeah.
The ones that Ariana Grande knocked off.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that's how the Calico Kitty was born. She is a kitten.
I like it. I like it. So do you always stick with purple ears or do you have different colors? That's the real question.
I have a whole box of gear.
I would be disappointed if you didn't have other colors being a calico kitten.
I actually have a custom set of calico ears that are calico colored, like the fur pattern is that, and I have a matching tail in my closet. I have black ears, purple ears, white ears, multicolored like designed ears and everything, and collars galore. Like I am obsessed with being the cutest designer kitten possible.
I like it. I like it. So you've already said you're from New York, so you answered that question. So are you born and raised in New York, or did your family move up there, or
in New York? Yeah, no, I'm born and raised in. I was born in the Bronx.
You're born in the Bronx. You are from New York. It's my best accent.
I'm actually from a suburb. I grew up in a suburb my whole life, so I'm not even like really from the city. I'm a poser, but like I'm really close to the city, so like I still will yell at you if you walk really slow in front of me.
I'm walking here.
Pretty much me.
We have some very good friends of ours. They're from New York, and it's a husband-wife couple, and the wife, she is straight up from Brooklyn, and she is first-generation Italian.
Nice.
So she has that like really thick Brooklyn accent, you know? I can't even mimic it. It's so amazing. And she talks like this, you know?
That's what I kind of love about New York is how many accents there are, because you can have, you know, you have the Bronx accent, which is different from the Brooklyn accent. And then you have your Bronx Hispanic accent, which is different from your Bronx Italian accent, which is different from your Brooklyn Italian accent, which is different from your Long Island Italian accent, which is different from your Staten Island Italian accent. And
I find that hilarious.
It's great. I love it. I love New York so much. I love going into the city. If you've ever been on my Instagram, you know that once in a while I'll post landscapes. I love New York City photography, and something that's like a hobby of mine is going into the city and kind of finding the beauty in the jungle, because it's kind of jarring when you just think about how many like buildings there are, but it's really nice when you can just like find a spot. Like actually I was working an event at the top of the Hearst Tower, and if you ever get the chance to ever go to the top of the Hearst Tower, which I don't know how likely that is, it's kind of a event venue, it is one of the most breathtaking views you could ever see in your life. You can see
I bet
miles. I actually put a picture of that on Instagram, and I actually got a lot of like attention. People were like, "What did you take this picture with?" And I was like, "My iPhone 7."
Hey, phones get really good pictures nowadays. Like especially if you have like really good lighting, you can get some really good pictures.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I forgot to tweet out that we're live because of the fact that it took us so long to go live.
I'm going to tweet out too, because I wanted to do that.
We're live. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. we're actually coming to New York in the summer. We got some friends who having a really big birthday up in upstate New York, and our plans, as long as it works out, is to come to the city because I've never been. So, yeah, we'll hook up. We'll meet up.
Let's go. We'll meet up. Yes,
you can be my personal guide.
Yeah. Although, I kind of am still like, every time I go into the city, because I'm outside the city, it's still a new experience for me, which is what I love about it. It's like, hey, I found something new. Like, we actually kind of have a budding Koreatown that's been popping up, and it's got some great stores, Korean owned, so like you're getting like authentic Korean skincare. I actually go to a training center down there, and I learn how to sing and do K-pop stuff.
Nice.
But it's fun. But that's what I love about New York is, yeah, that's what I love about New York. It's kind of like, it's always an adventure. It's always an adventure.
We live we live just outside of Atlanta. We live in a quote unquote suburb of Atlanta. And so I feel the same way. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, that was Steven Universe on my phone that just went off.
Yes, get it.
Yes. I apologize for that. That's on silent now. Like, oh, Cookie Cat, yeah. So, anyway, what is the first game that you played that got you into the gaming world?
I started gaming as long as I can remember, actually. I used to play educational games a lot. I grew up in the 90s, so
Oregon Trail, baby.
Well, like computers were like the thing. Like when we got computer time in class, like that was like, oh my gosh, we're so cool learning how to type and stuff and doing like those typing games. Reader Rabbit, Mookie Takes Manhattan, like those are some of the earliest games that I can remember that, like, you know, all the Barbie games and stuff. So I've been gaming as long as I can remember. The game that kind of got me hooked onto playing games every day was, of course, the OG Sims. It's a classic. You can't go wrong, and I still play Sims to this day. I've been playing since I was 7. I'm 24. There's a lot of math that I don't want to do, but
I'm old. Thanks for making me feel old. Wow.
I didn't need it. But yeah, so Sims is the first thing.
So, do you prefer? Okay, so the big question is then Sims 3 or Sims 4 or both?
They're so different. Like I actually still play Sims 2, Sims 3, and Sims 4 because I kind of do comparisons between them because they do each have their own little quirks. You know, Sims 2 was kind of that breakout game for the Sims series, and I actually have every expansion pack.
I think I did at one point on my, I don't even know what kind of computer I had. My parents had it built
nice
for me on yeah.
Yeah, so that was, you know, Sims 2 was great. And then Sims 3, that open world capability where, you know, you could kind of follow your Sims to all of the places you couldn't go before, which was really cool. And then Sims 4 adds the emotions. So your Sims, like, it creates that new level. Like, I actually had a vampire family. And I was like, oh, having babies is going to be so easy as a vampire because I'll never have to sleep. So, meh. No. Yeah, I ended up having twins, and the girl toddler gave me a run for my money. I actually ended up making a Snapchat rant because
that's hilarious.
It was so sad. She was so sad all the time. She was the grumpiest baby Sim I have ever met in my life. Because this is around when toddlers came out. When they finally got toddlers, and I was like, oh yeah, piece of cake. Vampire toddlers, no big deal. I have a non-sleeping vampire Sim.
I love The Sims, and I am obsessed with the pet expansion right now. So, I love how detailed you can get with the pet expansion. Like my dogs, I totally created my dogs in my game.
Nice.
And it looks just like my dogs. I love how detailed you can get with it. I find it so great that they got that detailed for the pet expansion.
I love that they like promote people using their like paint tools, so they're like, show us your craziest thing, and people are like making billboards out of like dogs, and I'm just like lit. I don't have any pets, so like all the pets that I create are kind of just from my own imagination. But I currently have a cat sim, like a cat lady sim, where she's just kind of like this cool loner chick who lives in the city, and she's building her army of cats, and all her cats wear denim vests.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I love, okay, all right. I could keep going. We should probably move on to the next question. How long have you been streaming, and what got you into streaming?
So technically I've been streaming since 2015. Back when I was a King Flogger, I streamed on a different account that no longer exists, and I used to stream League of Legends. I was obsessed with League of Legends back then, and I still kind of am.
I don't know how.
The salt is real.
It is. It really is.
And so I used to do that. I used to stream League. And then Christmas Eve of 2016, I started the TKK Gaming Twitch. And I actually was originally supposed to have a team helping me with it, and that fell through. But we basically started our first stream on Christmas Eve of 2016. And we streamed Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was really a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then I took a break, and then I officially started like streaming consistently, I think back in either March or April of 2017. And that's when I kind of found all the communities and hopped right in. And
oh, that's right. We're not in 2017 anymore. That's right.
I know.
I was like, wait, March hasn't happened yet. Oh wait, you mean? Okay, that's right. Last year was not 2016. That's right. They all start to blur together once you hit a certain age.
Just like,
yep.
So yeah, so it'll be a year after April. Yeah, I think it was March that like I was like streaming once in a while, and then like consistently streaming in April.
That's cool. You've been in Girlstreamers for quite a while. I remember because you were TKK Gaming when you started. Mm-hmm. The more I'm like, wait, I know TKK Gaming. I've heard of that before. That was you. I remember now. Yeah.
I remember I jumped right in, and I loved the community, the like vibe that Girlstreamers was about, because the community is so male driven. I actually got recruited once by another team, an LLC, and there was one other girl. And I just felt like, do I want to be the token?
Right.
That's a decision that and then also they were going to restrict me on like where I could like other like communities that I could be in. Basically, I would have to leave part of, and I was just like, that's not my cup of tea. I said no and declined. But like it was mostly guys, and like the whole atmosphere was just like very much male.
Yeah, that macho. Yeah. So I totally understand.
Girlstreamers was really important to me because it was a place where we're not just a token. We can kind of be a community of strong, streamers. And it just so happens that we're girls, and we're the only ones that are going to understand the struggles that we're currently going through in the toxic internet environment, where as soon as you enter IRL as a female streamer, which I've done before, and luckily I had some really good mods back at the time when I did my 100 followers giveaway. I did an IRL drunk stream, and I had some of the best mods.
Oh, girl.
Who were there to control the situation, because I had, you know, not only am I a female, but I'm of color. So
yeah,
it's like, it's double whammy. So yeah, it's rough. Things definitely need to change. But you know, Girlstreamers is there. It's like, hey, look, we have this community of awesome girls, and we're not just promoting one type of streamer. We're not just promoting hey, you need to be this, or you need to look like this, or you need to act like this in order to be a part of our stream. Because I have seen that from some other female driven stream groups where it's like, okay, we only want this type of streamer for our image because we have an image, so this is the type of streamer that we want. And if you're not fitting that mold, then
you know what our image is? Do you identify as a female? You're in. That's our image.
I love it. It's just, it's so inclusive. And you know, for all the people who are just like, I don't understand the need for it. Well, one, if you're saying that and you're not a female identifying, then there's the point. Like, you don't get it. Like, and you won't get it, because you won't ever understand that struggle of walking in and somebody just objectifying you as soon as you stream. Now, mind you, there are some women who, they are very beautiful and they are proud of their bodies and that's what they want to showcase. However, being treated like a piece of meat, I still feel like that's just like,
there's a difference in choosing to showcase your assets and someone objectifying you.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
You know, it's the whole consent thing. Like, I'm giving you the okay to look at me, but you still don't have the right to say I owe you something just because I'm standing here and you think I'm pretty. Like, there's literally, you have absolutely no entitlement to anything just because you think someone's pretty.
I could stream I could stream right now in a bikini and literally have just a boob cam on. That still doesn't give you the right to be like nudes, porn,
right. Exactly.
You know, and all the disgusting things that get said. It's like, here's your treat. I have given you permission to stare at this particular part. That's it. That's all you get. If I wanted to give you more, I would. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to give the whole thing away, like, I would have been DMing you, Mr. Sir or Mrs. That's happened to me. I've gotten girls who sent me nudes, and I'm just like, unwanted nudes in general are just like mind-boggling to me. I'm just like,
I don't understand that concept.
Like, I don't, from anybody. Like, I'm like, I don't care if you male, female, or other identifying. Don't send me nudes without my permission.
Unless I ask you for nudes, I don't want them. I don't want them.
I don't want your nudes. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good nude. Listen, you got a bomb ass nude? Yes, but like, I'll ask for it first.
So, what's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you on stream?
Besides my like daily constant struggle of me trying to even get my stream on the ground, which is embarrassing.
Welcome to streaming.
I don't really like, I feel like the word embarrassing kind of you kind of have this like regret with it, with that word, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're embarrassed by something, you're like, oh, I wish like that didn't happen, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's like a negative connotation with embarrassed for me. And
so
like,
then what's the most memorable moment? How about that?
There we go. So for me, I'm like, I act like a fool all the time. Like, I'm sitting there singing and dancing on stream. Like, I really don't care. I'm never really like embarrassed, because like, it's like fun for me. Like, this is really fun for me, and I like get to know people, and it's doing what I love. And so like, some of the memorable moments, I'll give you two. The first time I cried on stream, was my first ever raid.
I hate crying on stream.
I wasn't expecting it. I just like didn't know it was coming. So you know, when they plan a raid and you're not in, like you're not in it, and you're just sitting there streaming, and then boom, you gain 20 followers in less than a minute. And like, as a small streamer, like this was before I even hit my first like 50. I think I had made it to 50 with that raid. Like that was a huge deal for me. So I like literally, there's clips, people recorded it. Yeah, I bawled like a baby because the love was so unexpected and just so greatly appreciated that, you know, people wanted to be there for me, which is something that like I don't really get a lot of in my everyday life. So moments like that are like super memorable.
I feel you. Some of the ladies did that to me earlier this week, and I cried like a baby. Cried like a baby on stream. Misadventure T. Fredrickson, you know, yeah. I got your numbers. They they did the same thing, so I feel you. Like, and it was recent. I cried on stream. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. And then I guess the funniest moment, there's two. I mean, definitely my first drunk stream. Like that was great. Like just like we were drinking and laughing and just like everyone was there and it was a party and like I was eating fruit roll-ups and like just like it was great.
Do you go back and watch your drunk streams, or are you like, yeah, I don't need to watch that cringiness?
I actually didn't save it. Like I hadn't been archiving my streams, so like I actually lost a lot of my streams.
Oh no,
they disappeared.
Don't save the drunk ones, because when you go back and watch yourself, you're like, man, why though? Why?
Recently, I'd been playing Resident Evil 7, which, if you know me, I don't do horror games. I don't like the jump scare and I have anxiety, so like it's not a good mix. But like for December, or at least the beginning part of December before I started a new job, I was doing Nightmare Before Christmas. So I was playing a horror game before Christmas, and I actually saved those, so those are really, I actually have some clips from those. And my favorite thing that we came up with was the character Marguerite. She's labeled as the mom. And so to help me get through this boss fight, we just kept saying,
sorry about the dogs.
Mom. No, you're fine. We just kept saying Mom Spaghetti over and over. I'm not joking. We were just like, I'm like fighting this like really gross bug lady, and I hate horror bugs. I'm severely arachnophobic. I don't like bugs. I don't and like I'm trying to get through this for my stream, and I'm just like, but Mom, I just want the spaghetti. Where is the mom spaghetti? I'm like trying to like dodge things, and I'm just like, Mom, I just want the spaghetti. Mom spaghetti. She's mom.
Knees weak.
Not to cry.
Knees weak. Mom spaghetti.
Mom on the sweater. Mom spaghetti. That was pretty much that entire episode was should just be labeled Mom Spaghetti. So that was great. That was a great one-liner.
What type of games do you usually like to play in stream?
Like I do try to like stream indie games, but like the games that I tend to want to gravitate towards are Sims, League of Legends, World of Warcraft, and that's the games that are.
You play WoW?
Yeah, I do.
WoW?
I
didn't know you played WoW.
I've been playing WoW since I was 10.
Wow.
On and off though. I'm not like an elitist long-time WoW player. Like I take very long hiatuses from WoW because of, one, the subscription fees. Ain't nobody got time or money for that. And two, I usually tend to play WoW when I'm in school, like on my breaks. So that, and then I ended up, because like it's time consuming. You end up getting lost in it and playing for like 7 hours questing.
Yep.
And it's fun.
I spent the weekend playing
Druid.
WoW with my husband. I played a Druid.
Yeah, I played a
Druid.
It's like cheating, but not really. But
I used my boost. I used my boost on a Druid because it's the one that I don't have. So I've been playing it all weekend, and I love the Druid class hall for Legion.
I haven't been there yet. I actually leveled this Druid from level 1, and I'm working my way up to Legion with it naturally. I have 2 boosts already. I have Demon Hunter, like his automatic like boost. It starts at 98, and then I boosted a Hunter. So I have my 2 100s already that I've been questing through. I've made it pretty far into like Suramar. I've done all the like main quests on my Demon Hunter. So that's my 110. But my main that I leveled from birth basically was my Druid. So I'm still working through it. The hard part is that like leveling is still really unbalanced. So like I'm already out leveled Northrend, even though I just got there like last week.
Yeah. I'm excited. The next expansion, they're going to hopefully fix that and do the whole phasing thing, like the way they did with Legion, where you can still play through the quest line stuff, and it just levels with you, which is really nice because, like, I started in Burning Crusade. I didn't start in Vanilla, so I would like to actually experience some of Vanilla and actually go through the quest lines without speeding through the quest lines. And speeding through all of this stuff. But
it's really sucky, the fact that like I basically am just going right now. I'm just getting the like travel achievements for like visiting every Northrend because all the quests are too low level. I've out leveled all of Northrend already, and I haven't even begun to finish. There's just so much to do in Northrend, and like I've already out leveled it because I out leveled the Outlands. And so when I went into Northrend, I was already pretty high level. So
yeah, as soon as I hit like 68, I go to Northrend because the only place I like in the Outlands is Nagrand, and then that's it. That's all I like. I hate Hellfire Peninsula. That place can go. I hate questing in Hellfire Peninsula. Hate it. It's the worst place to quest, and you're stuck there. You're stuck.
Yeah, you're there for a pretty long time. I think my least favorite. I just didn't like the two zones that like only had 2 flight paths. So like I had to go everywhere by like actually holding the button. I'm very lazy. Hence why I play a Druid, because literally Druids have the built-in travel form, which praise Jesus, because what people don't realize is that even though you might not have bought your flying training yet or your mount training, you automatically get it with your travel mount with your travel form. So I was actually flying before I even had my flying training. And I was just like, why do people not play Druids? Like, just play Druid. Just, if you're lazy like me, play a Druid.
I leveled a rogue, so Druid, unless you play cat form, is very different from a rogue. Yeah. Very different.
Which my mains are balance and cat. Like my main is balance, and then my secondary is cat. Although that's gonna be literal bitch to get all the artifact weapons, because you have to get the artifact weapon for each spec, and there's 4.
Well, and the thing about it is, I'm since you haven't hit Legion yet, choose a main, because it's not as easy to go back and forth, because you have to put so much artifact power into your artifact weapon that screw your secondary artifact weapon, because it's a waste of your time, because you're never going to level it up enough to be useful enough. So
that's why I love Demon Hunters. It's 2 different blades. You get tank form, attack damage.
Right?
You got 2 blades. That's it. Done.
I play Balanced Druid. I decided to go with Balanced Druid, and they really changed Balanced Druid a lot, and I think it's a lot more fun to play. Because I've tried Druid several times, throughout the years. And I always go back to Rogue Melee, and I love the changes they did with Rogue. Like, they really gave Rogue love during Legion, big time, because Rogue just got shafted for 4 expansions, basically. So yeah, Rogues are a viable thing now, and they're fun to play.
Your opinion on Mists of Pandaria, because I know how controversial.
I like the expansion. It's what brought me back. I hated Cataclysm. But there was like no use for rogues in Mist of Pandaria, so I played Shaman instead, which wasn't really that good either because they kind of screwed up Shamans in that expansion. But I love the way it looked, and I love the music in it. So, yeah.
I actually love that they added pandas because I know everyone was like, Kung Fu Panda knockoff, and I was just like, hell yeah. I mean, technically, like, come on, the Worgans was a werewolf in London to a T.
Right?
It's literally a werewolf T. So please don't come at me with your movie references because WoW did it before and y'all didn't complain. So we're gonna have a Kung Fu Panda, and they're adorable.
I think cute. Worgans are like the worst race ever, and I don't like Draenei because they're space cows.
That was my main for like a very long time. I was a Draenei paladin for a very long.
But I like Draenei better than Worgen.
I've really tried to like the Worgen, but once you get out of the
starting zone,
yeah, no.
I love their starting zone. Their starting zone is so fun. But yeah, I agree with you.
One of my favorite starting zones is the Worgen, and then once you get out of there, you're like, okay, what do I do now?
Worgen are just like and I think it's because I just don't like Gen. Like, he can just go fuck himself. Like,
what about Greymane?
Like, that is Greymane.
Greymane. Oh.
Gen Greymane. Yeah, he.
Oh, okay.
You know what? You're the one who let your king die. I'm sorry, Gen. You did it.
He does redeem himself in Legion, though. He helps. He does stuff.
No, he could have. If he was really a hero like he should be, he would have jumped off of that boat, not let his king jump off. I'm just saying.
I mean, a lot of people were like watching him jump off that boat, and they were all like, "No." They're aliens, and they're all coming for us. We missed.
All right. So we could we're not a Warcraft podcast, so we should probably move on. This
Warcraft and Sims.
It's only because I've just spent the entire day yesterday playing Warcraft, and Carice gave me shit for it too. She's like, "Oh my god, is Nymphadora playing Warcraft? What the hell? Is the sky falling?" And I'm like, I know, because I, like you, I take long breaks from the game.
It's necessary. It's really necessary.
It is. I'm not gonna lie, I get bored with it, so I had to take a break, and then I come back to it, and I enjoy it again. And apparently that's a pretty common thing. It's a very common thing. So what is your favorite game aside from Warcraft?
Sims. Hands down. That, oh wait, we can't forget what my playthrough Tuesdays were. Borderlands.
Oh my god, I'm playing through Borderlands 2 right now every Thursday morning. So good.
Borderlands. Okay, so mind you, I hated first-person shooters before I met Borderlands and Borderlands 2. CS:GO, all like, Counter-Strike, all of them literally could die at a fire, and I wouldn't care. I hated first-person shooters. I wasn't any good at them, and I just didn't like the mechanics of like. I'm coming from Sims and like a lot of third person gaming. So first person gaming was really hard. The only time that I ever played a first person shooter was like when do you remember when the Living Dead 2, what was that? Steam gave away a zombie game.
Oh, Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead 2. They gave it away for free, and all of my friends, we all got it collectively, and we would play it. This was years ago, and that was all I played. And then my boyfriend at the time, he got me into Borderlands, and I was hooked. Like, I played Borderlands and then Borderlands 2, which is like infinitely better. I main the Necromancer. Gage is my favorite character in the whole series, even though she's not like an actual character. She's a DLC character.
That's all right. She's a fun character.
Her bot, just like, it's just so good. But then
I main Siren. I can't help it. I do like Sirens.
I main Siren when I play Borderlands. Because Maya, not Maya. Maya's the second one. What's Lilith? Lilith. I was like, Maya. No, Maya's the second one. I don't like Maya. Lilith. I love Lilith. Lilith is my favorite character ever. But the real hero is Miss Moxie.
I don't know. I mean, I love Miss Moxie, but I love Tina. Tiny Tina.
Oh, Tiny Tina is like legit. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tiny Tina.
And I also love Miss Moxie's daughter, Ellie.
I love the fact that she's freaking a redneck and that she like actually like has like a freaking car studio that she like builds, and she like wears like coveralls, and like her children are just like super redneck.
I know I'm fine. I don't care. You know, my mama wanted me to lose weight. I don't need to lose weight. I know I look good. I laugh my ass off because I know people. I also had to move away because my brother had a thing for me. Like, whoa. That was one of her lines. I was like,
yeah, no, Borderlands had some really, that's what I like about it, is the art style is really cool. The comedy is really good. And the storyline is just like, overall, it's just a really good storyline. And it's not overly difficult like your Dark Souls or your Bloodborne, like where it's like their games meant to be impossible, where you're not supposed to like get it on your first try, but like they're not super easy either.
Like Cuphead can go Cuphead.
Next time on the podcast, Cuphead.
We just stare into his soul. The devs. I need to interview the dev and ask him why. I like that. I love that game, but I can only play it in like hour increments because it makes me so mad.
Oh my gosh, Cuphead was like, who? And then what's the new one that everyone's been playing? The one where you like have to like climb things, and you have like, you're in a bucket.
I have no idea.
It's like everybody, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, all of them have been playing it. Like, you're in a pot, and like you have this like pickaxe, and you have to like lift yourself up only using your arm in this pickaxe. Like, you can only use it, and like it's a point and click. So like, and you have to like climb these mountains, and if you fall off the cliff, you start back at like the nearest starting zone, which sometimes might be like the beginning of the game.
I have no idea. I have not seen this at all. Oh my god. Great. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Oh my god.
It is so funny. Like, maybe watching people
in chat knows what it is. But so what is would you say you have a main game right now, or?
Right now, I'm switching back and forth between 4 and World of Warcraft.
Cool. So I know we talked about, what is it that attracts you about, because Warcraft and Sims are very different. So what is it that attracts you about each game?
I like role playing. So Sims, in its own sense, even though it's simulation, is kind of like role playing.
Getting over it is what
I think that's what.
Okay, thank you, Try Jam on Toast.
Oh, that's James. Hi, James.
Getting Over It is apparently the name of the game you're chatting about.
Yes.
Okay.
I
think I've seen people on Discord where it says like Getting Over It.
People play it,
but I haven't watched it. Okay, all right.
Gotta watch people play it.
All right.
So with Sims, even though it's simulation, I kind of like and I'm not like a chaotic person at all. Like I actually don't like deviation in The Sims. Like I know some people are like, yeah, let's do all these crazy challenges. Let's do all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I like the idea, but like when it comes down to it, I'm so cookie cutter when it comes to Sims. And like I get mad at my Sims when they deviate from my plans. Like I am the most like just controlling person when it comes to my Sims. They have no autonomy. I mean, they kind of do. Which one time ended up I wasn't paying attention and like somehow my Sims got into bed together. Never like I actually didn't set them up for that at all, and like I came and they were just woohoo, and I was like, when did that happen? I looked away from my computer for like 2 seconds and it was like
oh my god, Sims drive me nuts when they go when you're like, here, I want you to go do this, and they decide not to and they go do something else. I do the challenges as well, but it's like, I'm telling you to go do this, Sim. Do not backtalk me. Go do it.
Because you can, and I don't know if in Sims 4, but I know in Sims 3 you can turn off autonomy. I don't because I feel like that's mean, but I still control their everything. I'm a mess.
Yeah, you can turn it. They have like 2 different settings. I think you can have some autonomy in Sims 4 and then absolutely none and then all. So 3 settings. I have it on some.
Yeah, I know in Sims 3 it was like pretty customizable, but like I just left it on the standard, and then I would just like sometimes I'd let you do what you wanted to do, and sometimes and then with World of Warcraft, it's just like I like story-driven games. Like that's why I like Borderlands, and that's kind of like why I like Resident Evil 7, even though I hate watch 3 people play through it, just because I like the story of Resident Evil so much. I just don't personally like to play horror games.
And WoW has some great lore. Like, have you read the books?
I haven't read the books. I've just read a lot of stuff on the, which I'm super excited that they're making the Nightwell into playable characters. I actually called that.
Yes, yeah. The meth elves, the meth head elves. Yeah.
I mean, technically, they're going to be Horde, and their cousins, the Blood Elves, are like addicts. So like, it's okay. We just got some meth heads and some heroin addicts on the elf side.
So the Blood Elves are actually a result of pulling away from the mana source.
But
Night Elves are a result. So Blood Elves actually came after Night Elves.
I know that.
And so the Night Elf, so that's why they look so different, because the Blood Elves are like, yeah, nah, we don't want to be that obsessed with that shit. So we're cool. We're gonna get away. And all of them actually come from trolls. Did you know that?
That I didn't know.
Yes.
I just knew. That's how.
If you like podcast, check out Lore Watch by Blizzard Watch. They go into detail about all of that stuff, and it's a great podcast. Great podcast for lore.
I mean, technically, then all the elves just have problems, because the new elves from the Alliance side are void elves, and they use void magic, and then the Blood Elves have the Sunwell, the Night Elves have the mana, and then the Nightwell elves are mana dependent as well. Which is why everyone was so surprised that they are going to be for the Horde and alongside the quest with the.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it makes sense, because there's supposedly a quest in the later patches that like they end up helping out the Blood Elves, and so they will eventually declare their alliance for the Blood Elf and join the Horde.
Gotcha. All right.
I mean,
I'm
no one
ready.
is that.
Okay, so Tauren is my favorite race in the game, so I'm ready for my frickin' moose horns. Because
You're high.
I've always wanted to be a high mountain moose. I mean, high mountain Tauren with the moose antlers. I've always wanted it. I've been asking for it for, you can ask the husband, I've been asking for it for years. For years. So I am ready for that. So excited. So excited.
I'm so excited. Apparently we're also getting the Dark Iron Dwarf.
Yes.
Alliance,
that'll be nice.
Surprising. Because, like, anytime I quest, the Dark Iron Dwarves are always on the opposing side.
Yes. So I guess they've been redeemed?
They're probably the same reason, like, the Nightwell elves are just going to be like, hey, we helped you that one. Give us more mana. We're still insanely mana dependent.
Could be the same kind of, almost, like, not the Forsaken, but, Lich King, the Death Knights, you know, so it could be that kind of situation. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how they go about it.
I liked the Death Knights because you can play a Death Knight on everybody was a Death Knight.
Yes.
It wasn't race exclusive, and it wasn't side exclusive. Like, he had everybody. He had gnomes and elves and all this other stuff, and he was just like a bad dude. But by declaring the Nightwell for the Horde, it's kind of like, but they're in a neutral zone right now. It's not fair. We Lions want some love too.
I'm for the Horde personally, so don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Hey, let's be real here. The Horde has the better looking characters, okay? Humans are boring. The only cool looking characters that Alliance has are the space cows and the
Leave
werewolves.
my Draenei alone, okay? My Draenei are perfect little demon babies. They technically like resemble, they're goats. They're basically Baphomets, like little mini blue Baphomets.
They're space goat cow things is what they are. I'm actually really excited to see how the story goes, because we have theories, you know, that Jaina is one of the ones who burns down the tree and all of that stuff. So we have our theories, so we're gonna see how it plays out.
I can't hear her name without hearing what's his face from Hearthstone going, Jaina Baldmore.
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
Yes.
His accent is so thick. So bad.
All right, so who inspires you to be the woman you are today?
I mean, one of my biggest influences is my mom, of course. She's a really tough lady, and her story is kind of incredible. But it's not mine to share, so I will not be sharing it today. But she's really been through a lot, and I've been through a lot. And you know, I do look up to certain people, like Azilia is like my mentor when it comes to streaming, and I can always go to her for advice. And but I'm gonna give like a weird answer. I really look up to myself a lot, and that's not to be conceited or self-centered.
You'd be surprised how many girls have actually said that as their answer.
I know how much crap I've been through, and I know that if I wasn't a strong character in this lovely game we call life, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been here for a very long time. And even though I have those moments where things just don't seem to be going according to plan, I do remember that I have been pretty much to like 4 out of the 7 circles of hell. They're not the nicest areas, but like I haven't been to like the 7th circle, so still waiting for that trip. And I'm pretty cool. I kind of have, I had to relearn how to love myself.
That's an everyday process for me, is trying to love myself personally. It's hard unless you're a narcissist.
And you know, I don't think that everybody should be like, you know, I only self-serving, because, you know, that's not how to run a, you know, capable human society. Like, that's just not how it works. You can't be 100% self-fulfilling. You have to balance it. But there is no set in stone writing that says that you cannot love yourself, and you should be your number one fan, because at the end of the day, whether you have significant others, families, you die alone in yourself, and you have to be happy with yourself. And that kind of self-reflection is super important to me. Like, at the end of the day, if I was locked in a room, just me, would I be able to live with myself? And the answer right now is I do pretty well.
That's good. I think when you get to that point in your life where you can inspire yourself, that's good, because you do spend, at the end of the day, who are you living with? You are living with yourself. Even if you do have a significant other, you still have to be proud and happy with what you have done in life. So if you can inspire yourself, along with, you know, there's more than just one inspiration. You know, you can never name one inspiration. But if you can be one of your own inspirations, that is a huge accomplishment. A huge, huge accomplishment.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm a superhero in my eyes. Like, listen, getting yourself, you know, to your next step and realizing like what you've accomplished because of your own doings, and that you're self-reliant and independent, and that you can kind of control your own destiny, that's something to be insanely proud of, and kind of a good moment for you to say like, wow, I am a cool person.
Not half bad. I agree. I think that's great. I totally agree with you on that. You kind of touched on this. What do you like about being a part of Girlstreamers? Kind of touched on this earlier, so we can just skip that question.
Yeah, the community. It's great.
So what keeps you so passionate about gaming and just the community in general?
I mean, for me, gaming was a huge escape for me growing up. Like I said, I was heavily bullied for many years. And gaming and music, specifically, those two things are kind of what allowed me, because I have ADHD, and along with my ADHD comes a hyperactive imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes your brain just kind of doesn't know what to do with itself. And so with gaming and music, it kind of gives me an outlet to put my hyperactive imagination in a proper outlet.
Mm-hmm. My next question is, what is your greatest challenge or obstacle that you've had to overcome in your life? But I want to actually get a little bit more specific on that. As a female of color, as a person of color, what are some of the challenges that you've had to actually overcome? Because, I mean, as a female, I know that there's a lot of challenges, but I'm white, so I don't have as much as, you know, a minority female would have. What are, there are some things that I'm fortunate to just, they're like, oh, okay, here you go, you're white, take it. the entitlement thing. I am totally fully aware of that kind of crap. What are because it is crap. It's fucking bullshit. Because we're all humans. But so what as in the gaming world, I'm curious, what are some of the challenges you have had to face as a female person of color versus what someone like me would have to deal with? If you're willing to share.
No, I'm totally fine with it. So one instance that comes to mind is and this is all kind of what we have pieced together from the incident. I used to have this WoW friend who he would help me. He was part of my guild, and he helped me get some higher level gear, and he like gave me like exclusive pets that I didn't have. Like, he was great. Like, it was fun, and we would just quest, and he would help me solo dungeons so that I could get all the cool drops and all of that stuff. And then one day I sent him one of my YouTube videos of me playing a game. Just, regular game, face cam in the corner. There's nothing strange about it. And after I sent him that video, I was immediately blocked and unfriended.
What?
And I was so confused and a little heartbroken, because I was like, this was like, one of my really good like WoW friends. Like, I was spending a lot of time with this person. Like, it wasn't like a romantic or anything relationship. Like, we had never seen each other. We just talked with each other. And when I was talking about it with people, they were like, wait, you said you would video chat with him? I said, no, we've only ever talked voice to voice. And they said, was that the first time he's ever seen you? And I said, yes. And they were like,
maybe, oh, Jesus, are you serious?
I mean, one of the things that I get a lot is that I don't sound black. Whatever that means.
Oh my God, I hear that. Okay, I live in the South. I hear a lot of people use that phrase. Like, this person didn't sound black. I'm like, does it matter?
I get that I don't sound black. I don't look black. A lot of people think that I'm actually Hispanic, but a lot of that. And so
Jesus
if you were
Christ.
just to talk to me and you had that assumption that black people sound a certain way, then no, you wouldn't think that I was black.
Wow.
So if you're, pretend the camera is not here and you're just and then boom, hi, hello, me, pops up on your screen. It's like, if you're that type of person, it's gonna be a culture shock. So that was like really, really hurtful. Because I thought it was my content. I was like, was my video that bad? I really was like oblivious. I come from a very diverse
you live
like,
in New
my
York City,
is,
so
yeah.
I mean, you're freaking diverse up there.
Yeah, so like I'm not used to the blatant racism. Now, mind you, there is still racism here in New York, like subtle racism, like between all the groups that we have up here. I've seen blacks to whites and whites to blacks and Asians to blacks and Asians to whites and Hispanics to blacks and vice. Like, I've seen it all. Like, everybody is just prejudiced each other. We're all like happy together, but we all kind of hate. It's weird, but like, no one's ever just like blatantly like, my race is better than your race because of A, B, and C. Like, no one would ever do something like that. It's all just kind of like I remember I had this like one friend who was Korean, and like he wasn't allowed to take me to his house because his mom would like freak. Like, he had another male black friend, and like that was like the line of like that he was towing with like the amount of black friends that he could have. Like,
wow.
It's that kind of stuff. But like, no one was ever really like, the stuff that you kind of see on the internet where you can see that kind of blatant racism. So like, I wasn't used to blatant racism, so I don't know how to identify it, kind of, in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of used to like subtle shit. So my naive brain is kind of just like, I thought it was about my content. I was like, I was like, I look so ugly. My video was just so trash. Like, oh my gosh, it was just like such a pity party for me. I was just like, rah. And so like I'm complaining about my content to people, and they're like, no, honey, it's not your content. It's because of the way you look. And I'm like, because I'm ugly? And it's like, no, because you're black.
Oh
like,
my god.
Oh.
I'm glad that you can laugh at it now, but like that's horrible. Like that is absolutely horrendous. Like, I mean, my mom dated this guy and she didn't know he was a white supremacist until he took her to a rally, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm okay.
Kind of gotta put the hands up.
No, I'm out, peace out, I'm not. And she never talked to the dude again. And it's like, I'm lucky that my parents are not that in the South.
Yeah.
They are very open about, you know, they, don't get me wrong, they will say very, very awful things. But
my parents too. It's that generation.
It is.
That generation is just like,
but
they don't get it.
They taught me, they taught me that, you know, a person is a person regardless of what they look like, regardless of skin, regardless of gender. A person is a person. Period.
Yep.
So I'm very lucky to have grown up with that kind of experience living where I'm at. Plus we, you know, we didn't have that much money growing up. So, you know, being poor white trash kind of also helps that.
More relatable.
Okay.
Listen,
I don't know.
I
I know some white trash people who are pretty bad, who are really bad. So, you know. But
and then the other one that I remember, playing black on Twitch kind of makes you a target.
Yes, it does.
This, during that drunk live stream, well, before I was even getting drunk, this was at the beginning, I wasn't even drinking yet. A user set up their username as the racist punchline.
Oh my god, I've gotten the fat ones, the fat joke ones.
His first name was Nick, Nick, and the last name was Gerz.
I've seen that guy.
I got him banned. It's fine now, but like he, like I said, my mods were like on point. So we like banned we got him reported so fast. We were not playing, but it took me a while to catch on because like I'm just like talking to everybody and like I'm not saying it fast enough. So when I'm reading it through and he starts trying to like get it, he starts trying to put more of his, like he keeps spamming his name. So I keep saying it, which they did clip a lot of it. Cause you know, it sends you the clips that people make.
Yeah. And so you can delete those.
I deleted them later, but like, I never said it the way that he wanted me to say it, but I did say it enough for him. And then I caught on and I just like, was like, no. And then I reported him. But yeah, so that was an interesting one where someone's username was just set up to just remind you that
this exists. I think those are like the ones where I wish Twitch would go and IP ban that person. Like, if Blizzard can do it, Twitch can do it. You know what I mean? Like, if Blizzard can ban your IP, you can ban their IP. Because like I've seen the racist ones. I get a lot of the fat ones, because I'm, you know, an overweight gamer. Wow, shocker.
But it's so sucky, by the way, because, you know, it doesn't happen nearly a third of the time for overweight male gamers. Like, you'll have the occasional one where people will be like, oh, you're so fat, and then it's like they, you know, it will not really though. Like, it's kind of expected. Like, if you're a guy and you game and you're not over people, what are you doing? Right. But like on the opposite hand, it's like if you're a girl and you game, people think that you can't really game because you have a vagina. I guess when we signed up for this girl lifestyle, it was like, here's the manual. With your vagina, you get a car that's game. Can't be sexy, but you also have to be sexy. And
let me get my powder and wear my powder and like put all the glitter on me.
But also, if you wear makeup, you're a whore.
Yeah, you're fake if you wear makeup. But if you don't wear makeup, you're ugly.
Exactly.
If you're fat, you're ugly. If you're skinny, you're fake. You're a fake gamer girl.
And you're anorexic and you need to eat a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is awful.
It's a lot. But I am a very optimistic person.
#Girlstreamers.
Yeah.
That's all I
I'm a very optimistic person, so I try to keep things positive. Like you see, I can kind of, learn to laugh at the things that happen to me just because it's like we get one life. I got probably, a good 60 to 70 years left, and like I don't want to spend 20 of it harping on stuff that like I know I can't change, just being little old me. It's going to take a big entity to kind of change the way that we view things, and I can try to educate people as best I can. But like I can't expect immediate changes to happen on the internet, and I try to encourage people like, hey, use proper pronouns, don't slut shame. Just being kind to people is like really easy. You know how easy it is to just be like,
but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. You'd think it would be an easy concept to understand.
You know what the easiest thing is? Just like taking your phone when it's on and just going. Like that's the easiest thing to do when you're really upset at somebody's whatever you're upset with. Like it's funny because when I game on League, I get so heated in the moment because it's League. But like my team would never know that I'm literally cursing them out and calling them all types of names because I don't take the energy to put that out there. Like I'm not literally going to sit there and type out like, oh, you suck, kill yourself, like, as the trolls like to do. Like one, who would say that to somebody? Like that's just like, that's not a thought that comes through my mind particularly. Like I never think to anybody like that person should kill themselves, especially because I have a struggle with suicide. So that really irritates me when people are just like, they throw around the term kill yourself, especially when it's so proven to how effective that phrase is, because the amount of people that actually use that as a driving force for the suicide that they were already contemplating, some people doesn't affect them and they were able to get out of it. I was watching the Demi Lovato documentary, and they signed a suicide petition for her, a literal petition.
Holy crap!
For her to kill herself.
What the hell? Who does that? Who the hell does that shit? I can't stand the people who also use I'm triggered. Like I'm sorry, but trigger is actually a medical term, and you're kind of devaluing what it's used. Also rape. It's like, no, you didn't just rape somebody because you've never been raped. So how about not using that word? Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
People are just really freaking weird, and the internet kind of
brings out the weirdos.
Yeah, the internet is a weird place because it's a wonderful tool that brings people from all over the entire world together, and you have access to information. And mind you, take everything with skepticism. Like I'm always pro skepticism, because how many times do we find out like, hey, that thing that you posted 7 times wasn't actually true because of these new facts. So I always say
right, do your research. You have to do your research. Make sure
have a healthy amount of skepticism.
Credible
denounce
source.
Don't denounce anybody, but like one of the instances right now that I'm thinking on that like we still don't understand the whole concept, we don't know who's right in the situation because of the like varying facts, was the Melanie Martinez situation.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know that there's an issue, but I have no idea.
quick rundown. Melanie Martinez had this friend. Her friend came out and said sexually assaulted her.
You just cut out. Sorry.
Hello?
Say that again.
Melanie Martinez, famous singer, she had a friend who later came out that Melanie Martinez had sexually assaulted her. And that, yeah. So there was a big mass exodus of like Melanie Martinez fans because everybody was like, well, this is at the time of the Harvey Weinstein, where you kind of are just like in this moment where everyone's just like, well, we got to believe all the victims. But then it came out that there are some discrepancies in the girl's story. So it's like, we're kind of in the middle ground where like, we don't have any valuable proof of like anybody's side. We don't have any proof from the victim, and we don't have any proof from Melanie for either of them to be like, it didn't or did happen. But these are the kinds of moments where like, you kind of have to have a healthy amount of skepticism, because yes, you need to believe the victims because denouncing them is completely abhorrent. But at the same time, a case just got broken open that this guy went to jail for 2 years because the girl edited text to make it look like he had sexually assaulted her, and they found the real files, which proved that he hadn't, and that she lied about it.
I hate, that's awful, because being a sexual assault and rape victim, it ruins
credibility.
The credibility for the people who have actually gone through it. Like, nobody believed me, so nothing got done 3 times for me, right? So it's like, what the fuck? What do I do? And I totally agree. You have to be smart about
research.
It. Yeah, you
like,
have to do your research.
You want to believe those victims. Don't denounce them. Don't come out right and say you're lying. However, don't pull out the pitchforks yet until the hammer has been, the verdict has been thrown down and said like, yeah, here is your, everyone's always talking about the receipts. Here is my proof. Undoubtedly, I am a victim.
Innocent
this person
until
is
proven guilty. And it should, because the one thing that the internet does is it polarizes. Like, you get one extreme to the other. There is absolutely no in between, and that's what we're missing lately, is the fact that, hey, you know what? Sometimes people learn from their mistakes. Sometimes people do actually change. So let's actually do the research. Let's actually see how this turns out. I mean, I don't want to go on because we're not like a news source or anything, but I mean, I'm sure some of you have heard about the issues with some of the YouTube people lately, and
we don't talk about the L word right now. like I said, suicide is a really touchy subject for me, and that also Japan is one of my favorite culture. Like, the Japanese culture has been a culture that I've been invested into since I was 5 years old. And to see someone just run a dirty knife through it.
Yeah. And
then, on top of that, stand next to a dead body and crack a joke. Like, how many jokes he cracked doesn't matter. He cracked a joke being like, never thought I would sit next to a dead guy. Like, no.
I don't want to be here bashing. We're not here to bash. However, there are sensitivity issues that people need to be aware of, especially as a content creator. And you gotta be conscious. You gotta be self-aware of what's going on and what you're around.
Self-awareness. I like that. Self-awareness is key. Everybody.
So, all right, I'm gonna move on because we could totally keep talking about this subject. There's so much we could go with this subject, and I think you and I are on the same page as far as that whole thing goes. All of that, that's a big issue with the internet, is it allows for people to be anonymous instead of actually prepared and self-aware. And you got to remember, there are actually feelings behind those computers. There are real people behind those computers.
Positivity is very easy. And if anything, if you can't muster up positivity, click exit. That's the easiest thing, is to just move on. It literally takes no time at all to just scroll. So this is the notes that I want to end on with this subject. Positivity, do not blame anybody for anything, you know, innocent until proven guilty kind of situation. But don't discount anybody. Like, don't discount. Always have a healthy amount of skepticism. You know, have your beliefs, stand true in your beliefs. However, don't witch hunt for anybody.
Yes,
like
agreed.
I hate the witch hunt mentality. Stop witch hunting. You know, it's
let's feel the love, man. It's the love.
You know, I get people are trying to help, but like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like a hippie, you know, saying it. Like, we do need more love.
We need more.
I feel like a hippie, but we seriously need more love.
I need love. I love love. I give me more love. I am.
So I've got. All right, we are. All right, what trait of your? I'm skipping some questions because we are kind of running because we've gotten into some good discussion and I like it.
Yeah.
So, what trait of yours are you most proud of, and what is your greatest insecurity?
The trait that I'm most proud of, I think, is I think my empathy, my ability to be able to tap into emotions and be able to just like live kindly and help people and want to help people succeed and just caring, being kind. And then one of my biggest insecurities is my mental illness. I suffer from depression, anxiety, I have ADHD, and it's there are some days where it's just like really debilitating, and I try not to see it as like my kryptonite by any means, but it's definitely something that like my anxiety, it sometimes stops me from streaming because like I just don't want to deal with people's reactions towards me. Like, I'm very self-conscious just from years of bullying, and you know, that just is like something that's programmed into my brain. I'm trying to reverse it, but like easier said than done. And so it's hard. So my anxiety, and it's only getting worse over, you know,
it's just gonna get worse too, just so you know.
It just gets worse
until you, I mean, all I can say in that regard is get a therapist. I mean, get some professional help, even if it's just like a life coach or something. Just have somebody to talk to, or group therapy. Group therapy works. It really helps. And I didn't realize that I needed that until I started grieving. And then my 2016, one of the reasons why it runs into 2017 is because 2016 was the year I was admitted into a holding facility for attempted suicide. So, yeah, getting professional help in those regards are very, very, I can't tell you how awesome my therapist has been. Seriously. And
I had a really awesome one at school that was like really, really, especially when it comes to the anniversary of my sexual assault, and I'm still grieving in a sense, but
it takes time to get through that stuff. It takes time to process, and you can't do it alone because that is a huge thing to process. A huge. You just also have a lot of trust issues, though.
It's also the problem. Because I've been burned. I have one of my, you know, the things that I like about myself is that like I kind of form really cool connections with people, but at the same time, it's like I give people like 10 chances. I've like stopped and like I've, you know, gotten better about it, but those 10 chances get me burned a lot. I have a lot of trust issues.
Give them one. I'm gonna bestow my wisdom on you. One chance, and then you're done. One chance. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not wise. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in this life. Don't ask me anything. I have no idea. I try. Good luck. So, if there was one person, past or present, that you could have dinner with tonight, who would it be and why?
Does it have to be a real person, or can it be fictional?
Yeah. Either or. I mean,
I think that if I could have dinner with anybody, like fact or fiction, I think that it would probably be them. Would probably have dinner with Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron.
Hey, have you seen what's behind my bookshelf? On my bookshelf? I have the same ones. I also have Harry Potter books on my bookshelf.
I can't see it because your camera's a little bit like this way, but
I know, it's awkward.
That's why I was like, these guys, they would be. Yes, there's Cursed Child.
There it is. The rest of them are paperback, so you can't really tell because they're so like, yeah. We've got hardcover first editions, and those are in a different place. But
I've ruined all my first. These ones are all first edition. This one I lost the cover, so but they're pretty beat up because I've read the Harry Potter series completely to 7, maybe about 10 times. All together, probably I'd say 100 through my lifetime, maybe more.
I reread them once a year, every year. I got the Kindle edition though, so that I don't continue.
Same. I love it. These are just literally for viewing purposes.
So, all right, I've got 2 more questions and then we'll open up for Q&A. We're going to do 2 really good positive questions. What are you most thankful for?
Family. Like, hands down, I love my family. I have a pretty awesome one. Sisters, my mom and my dad, and 2 adorable nieces. And
being an aunt is the greatest thing ever.
It is. No, it literally is. Avery is 2, and she is the light of our lives. Like, she just is so personable and happy, and she's growing, and like you can see her brain developing in like these weird, cool ways. Like right now, her thing is to like she'll ask randomly, but like when we like tell her, like scold her, she'll go, "Are you happy?" Like she's asking us, are we angry with her? Like, am I sad because of her? And like, so we'll tell her like, I'm happy. I just want you to do what we ask you to do. Cause like, she thinks like angry means angry at me, and she'll get sad. And it's like, no, I don't want you to be mad at me. No, we're mad at you. She's also a little runt. She's such a brat. She's like, she fights everybody, and she's like, "You want to fight today, Kai?" I'm just like, yes, let's fight.
I feel so bad for my nephew. He turned 1 last month. So, and my name is Ashley. So good luck, nephew. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you have to. My
sister's name is Ashley.
I feel so bad. It's like, you know what? It's okay. You can take your time to learn how to say my name.
Madison, my other niece, she called my sister Ah.
Nice.
That's what we got out of her. Ah. I got Lolly like lollipop because she couldn't pronounce the K. Then my other sister was Ah.
That's so cute. I love it. Aww.
I can't wait to be a mom. I think that'll be the coolest experience.
What is your strongest passion outside of gaming?
I mean, I have a lot of passions. Makeup and skin. I like crafting. Like I like painting, although I don't do as much. I like planning. Actually, I'm a really big organizer. It's part of like the ADHD thing I found out. Like, there's other people out there like me, just like are obsessed with like planning because it just helps us like kind of like hone in
Will you be my personal assistant then? Because I need one.
I'm coming to Atlanta. Photography, modeling. I do a lot. I try to keep, I like being busy. I hate stagnant. Like, I hate being stagnant. I hate just like not doing anything with my life. Like, if you're like, just like, I can't, like, that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves is like unmotivated people. Like, I find that so unattractive. Like, that's like, if like anybody asks me like, oh, what's like your non-physical like attraction? Like, I love a guy, or doesn't matter to me really, who kind of like, even if they don't know what they want, they make plans. They want to do something. They know that they don't want to just sit at home and just play video games, or just do drugs and alcohol, or just eat, or just, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to just sit. They want to do things. They want to get out. Like, I like nature a lot. So like, I love it. Like, I like going places because it's just, this world is so big. Like, why limit yourself to a...
Yeah, I totally feel you. So, all right, we got our first question. Silky C asks, what is one game you want to play but haven't yet? Ooh, that's a good question. I like it.
Ooh. There's so many. My Steam list is just games that I've gotten that I haven't played.
My Steam list has grown so much too.
One game that I really want to play. Let's see. Oh, there's a couple. Like, I like some of the psychological horrors. Like, I play We Few.
Have you played Doki Doki?
I haven't yet.
It's free. I haven't finished it yet, so I have no idea.
It's gonna be added to the list. I want to finish the BioShock series because I started it, and again, I don't do really well with jump scares, so like, it's not a scary game, but like, the jump scares is not my forte, and I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of jump scares, but my followers like jump scares, so they'll buy me games to play. Like, I'm trying to get through Alien Isolation right now. It's gonna take me probably 4 years to finish it. I'm just not a fan. I can't do it. I can't. I prefer the and this is even in horror movies. I prefer psychological horrors over the jump scare horrors.
See, in movies, I know that like I have like there's a physical barrier kind of between me and the movie. If that's like predetermined destiny, but like in a video game, because you have to move along with the game, it kind of breaks that barrier down a little bit, which makes it a little bit more intimidating. Immersive. Yeah, it's really hard.
So this question is actually usually on my list, but I didn't ask it so I could get to Q&A. So thanks, Silky. What games are you looking forward to that are being released this year?
I just had a list too, and I'm unprepared. The pop quiz. Did we get word whether Borderlands 3 is actually going to come out this year or not?
I don't know.
Because that's literally the only game that I'm like actually, like waiting for is 3. That's like,
somebody asked me about that Thursday when I was playing Borderlands 2, and I was like, is it actually coming out? I mean, I don't know. I just want a good story, right?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you got a very good point. Jam on Toast. Doki Doki is psychological, and it's very sensitive with there's suicidal stuff in it. So, you may not want that game. You may be able to handle that game. I mean, it depends on everybody's...
We will see.
Yeah, it depends on everybody's situation.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, so I couldn't tell you exactly. I just know how it ends. And so because I know how it ends, I'm like, okay, I can handle this. But if I had gone into it blind, like completely blind, I probably would, probably curl up in a ball and not be able to do anything for 2 weeks. Pascal coming in with the hard questions. Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Why? Why would you ask that? Like, I mean, I identify with a cat, but I don't know. They're so different. I don't do favorites. I'm like, oh, my body is physically crumpling under this question.
It's a floofy animal. Who cares? They're cute.
Exactly. I love snakes and turtles and hamsters and guinea pigs and doggies and kiddos, and I like animals. But fuck out of here with some spiders. If you have a tarantula, the door is that way. Literally can't.
No
Super
spiders.
Maryface and Ken just uploaded a video today, and the thumbnail was their tarantula, and I had to hide the video from my subscription.
Oh my
God. I'm
God.
severely arachnophobic.
So, Ron in Harry Potter, you identify with Ron. Spiders! Why couldn't it been follow the butterflies? That's my question too, Ron.
I actually, when that movie came out, I wasn't as arachnophobic. My arachnophobia kind of heightened with the novel Desperation by Stephen King. He has a way of just like taking like a slight fear and just like twisting it. Like, you ever ask somebody like why they're afraid of clowns? It's like they had like an uncomfortable moment as a child, and then they probably read it, and then they were like, fuck.
You just described my life. You just described my life. I don't have an irrational fear of clowns. I just don't like being around them. Like, I don't like that I can't see your face. I don't like that you're trying to make me happy because maybe I don't want to be happy. Like, get the fuck away from me, clown. And it's all Stephen King's fault. It's all Stephen King's fault. All of it.
So he heightened my arachnophobia. That novel. Not many people have read it. It's a good novel. It's not super scary, but like
what's the name of it? Desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my husband is a massive Stephen King fan. That side of the bookshelf has Stephen King stuff.
Yeah.
So like first edition signed by Stephen King.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
did he read the new one that Stephen wrote with his son?
I don't know. Have you read the new one that he wrote with his son yet?
I have not read Sleeping Beauties yet.
He hasn't read Sleeping Beauties yet. But he's a massive Stephen King fan, obviously. Haha, husband he always makes an appearance somehow in the podcast because he's always here. Yeah, no. I actually was more scared of spiders when the movies came out, when the Harry Potter movies came out, than I am now. Like, I still don't want to touch a tarantula. I still don't want to touch it, but I can watch the movies now. And maybe because I watched it so much and I know that it's a robotic spider. I don't know. It still creeps me out, though, when they're I went to
the exhibition in New York City where they brought all the props after the what movie had just come out that they brought the exhibition? I think this was years ago, probably my senior year of high school. So that was 2012. They brought the exhibition to New York City, and they actually bought Aragog. They actually brought the robotic prop that, like, his still prop, not the actual moving one, but the still. And like, that was before I read Desperation, so like it was like jarring, yes, but like I was able to get through it.
Well, yeah, because you're like, yeah, I know it's not real, even though it looks really good.
It was terrifying though. It's just giant. It's massive. I also can't open my eyes. Forbidden Journey Studios.
Wait, you just cut out. You just cut out again. Would you say I also can't open my eyes
during the Forbidden Journey, when you're in the forest with the spiders in that scene?
Oh, yeah.
Universal Studios, yeah. That I actually know when that part comes up, and because it's just like it's like everything's in your face, and like it's spiders in your face, and so I actually haven't seen Aragog in that ride because I've just closed my eyes every single time.
So which did you go to? Harry Potter World in Florida or in California? Florida. Did you go when both parks were open or when it first opened with the first park?
I've gone so many times because I was an annual pass holder.
I hate you so much right now. I've only been once.
I worked at Disney World, so of course I got a Universal Pass.
Isn't it so good though? Harry Potter World is so good.
It is so good. I think the first time I went, only Hogsmeade was open.
Okay.
And then the second time, and then therefore after, Diagon Alley was all open.
We need to go back because it's just, I love it. I got the interactive wand.
Yeah, same.
So oh my god, it's so cool. I love how it interacts.
It's up there. I actually have a cool story about that.
Oh, okay.
So me and my sister, we went into Ollivander. Well, the Ollivander's on the Hogsmeade side. Technically, it's not Ollivander's, but like we were only on that side. And you know, I didn't get picked during the show, and I'm mouthing the lines from the book because it's me, and I thought everybody was gonna say I was like the wand chooses wizard or something like that. It was one of the lines that like everybody should know, so I thought everyone was gonna say it, and like it was just me and the guy who was doing the script. That's an embarrassing moment where everyone was just like, nerd, and I'm like, And so when everyone's leaving after the show, he pulls me aside and he gives me my own private wand ceremony.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, I went in there. There was a little kid in there. It was like all adults and then one kid. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get picked. They're definitely going to choose the kid.
Yeah, always
choose the kid, right? Which is fine. I don't care. I got to experience it and got to see it. And it was really, I really like the way they did it, the way they set it up. It's really neat.
Yeah, I love it. Diagon Alley is really cool. The dragon, the top of Gringotts, just awesome with this fire-breathing nature, and
it's so cool. Oh, I want to go back so much because when you walk in, you really feel like you are in. They did such a good job because you've got the soundtrack just. The score is just always going, and it really sounds like you are in Diagon Alley. Like it. Also, go ahead. Sorry.
It's so separated that like you don't risk. Like with Krusty Land, you can clearly see the other parts of the park from Krusty Land. But where they placed Harry Potter, like where they placed Hogsmeade Alley, you have no outside influence at all.
It's like it's its own. They could honestly make it bigger, in my opinion, and I'd be happy with that. If Universal was all Harry Potter World, I would not have a complaint.
Can we just get a Harry Potter World?
Because, you hop on the train to go from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley or vice versa,
Hogwarts
and the train
Express is so good.
They did such a good job with the Hogwarts Express, and it's just like... Because if you look out the window, they made like this concave, like it looks like you're actually looking out the window. So when you look down, you're actually seeing the tracks, quote unquote, the digital tracks on because it's a fucking digital TV thing. But they did such a good job with it that when you actually look at it and look down, it actually looks like you're looking out the window. So they do the Disney magic thing where you don't see the real crap outside of it. You actually see what they want you to see. So, yes, they did such a good job. All right, yeah. And on that note, we should probably end the podcast. Because we got 5 minutes until Scrappy Wheels comes on. Woo! This is not a Warcraft or Harry Potter podcast, I promise.
I mean, we could definitely, if you want, like, listen. If you want, we can get as many podcasts going It is like, here's one for Harry Potter. Here's our Warcraft general internet issue podcast.
Oh my god, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
I'm so sorry that we got a little bit of a late start. I do apologize. I was just some technical issues. Pretty standard at this point because I'm a pro. So where and when can we find you streaming?
So you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube and Twitch, all under the same username. I perfected that. It's all TheKalicoKitty. And I am still working on a streaming schedule right now because issues. But you can follow me on Twitch. I do stream. I just did a stream today, and yeah, once in a while I'll be back. I try.
Hey, making a schedule is the hardest thing. It is, and I know it's worth it, but it's so hard to get it perfected.
That was hard, dropping from 3 times a week consecutively, consistently. And then when I got my summer job and I didn't have any time at all to stream, so basically to 0 was like one of the hardest transitions in a period in my life. Like I literally was so depressed.
Well, I'm glad that you're back at it, and thank you again so much for joining me. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks. So this has been a Girlstreamers podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Fresh Designs, Punk's Paracord, Simple Jerky, which is some of the best jerky I've ever put in my frickin' mouth, UN Racing Chairs, Glom Tom, and Sennheiser. Links to all these amazing partners are down below, so please feel free to click. Thank you guys for all of your support. Please follow us at Girlstreamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you have any... Oh, we are also on player.me now, so you can find us on Girlstreamers. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can subscribe to us on Twitch or GameWisp. Don't forget, when you do subscribe, you get access to our Discord fan channel. And you can buy some super cool gear in our online shop at designbyhumans.com/shop/girlstreamers. You can find TheKalicoKitty on Twitter at TheKalicoKitty. That's TheKalicoKitty, and Twitch at twitch.tv/TheKalicoKitty. That's TheKalicoKitty. Our next podcast will be January 21st with Pika Boom right here, same time. This podcast is a part of the Two Lazy Dogs Media Group and the Girl Streamers community. Encourage, support, grow.